You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future.
Forget it, Arnie. This baby's got 93,000 miles on it. Probably 193. I don't care.
Why don't you get out of your big ugly car, huh? We'd like to see what you look like.
What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on.
All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from a small town in Utah.
Yes.
Because we are talking about
desert.
The Car.
The Car.
It's our final It's our final Halloween movie
Scary.
for 2021.
Ooh, spooky.
It's our final one.
It is. It's fun. This is a great, fun way to end our Halloween. I don't even know what you
Our Halloween run.
Our Halloween extravaganza with all.
Well, we're lucky. We had 5 Saturdays this year.
Yes,
That probably won't happen
so-
for a while.
I know,
So we
but
had
that
5
was-
Halloween episodes.
That's very cool.
What
And
has been your favorite?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Kind of like Christine. Oh wait, we didn't even set the.
That's fine.
Okay.
I got time
Okay.
around here.
So my favorite. Well, shout out to Paul Shin.
Shout out to Paul Shin.
Who has an awesome YouTube channel for Model A's. So
Yes.
check out Paul Shin's
Always.
Model A. stuff.
Which hopefully, if we haven't expressed to him before, we want to get him on the podcast.
Yes,
I have a movie
definitely.
in mind for him.
Oh, good, excellent. Yeah, that would be fun. To Craig Lieberman.
Craig
So-
Lieberman. Shout out Craig Lieberman. Get those out of the
and
way.
shout out to Utah and Halloween. Shout out to Halloween.
Shout out to Halloween
Yeah,
as a
okay.
holiday.
So I don't know. It's hard to say. Definitely not Blood Car. That's not. No, that
No, that's
wasn't
not even in the running.
Not really. So what else did we?
Christine, Ghostbusters,
Christine, yeah.
Blood Car, Pumpkinhead, and now this.
Yeah, okay, so I'd have to. I mean, obviously, one of my all-time favorite movies, again of all time,
Yeah.
is Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So I have to say that one. Okay, heads and shoulders above everything. But I don't know. This might be a close second of the ones
This
that
was
we
a good
watched.
one.
I think it was pretty good. I really liked it. I think I enjoyed it.
So I figured
Yeah.
while we wait for
Uh-oh.
the 10 minutes
Yes,
to be up,
that's right.
and with Halloween being tomorrow, there it is, I thought we'd actually take some time
Uh-oh.
to talk about candy.
Candy.
Halloween candy.
Oh, love Halloween candy.
So, and my dad has no idea I'm doing this. If you
Right.
look underneath your blanket
yeah,
over there,
yeah.
up on top of the pillow,
Up on top-
up
oh,
on
what
top
is-
of the pillow.
oh,
Keep pulling the
here?
blanket.
oh,
There's
this.
a piece of paper and
Yeah.
a pen. Do you see the pen? Did the pen fall?
I have.
There you go.
I
Okay.
have the pen. I have.
So
the,
on
right,
there
okay,
is
yes,
5
okay.
different candies,
Okay,
and I have
all
the
right.
answer key. And there's
You
5
do.
different years.
Oh.
And
oh.
I want you to
Can I look
guess. Yeah,
Okay.
guess which years
at it? What a great idea.
the candies debuted.
Okay. Can I read these off to people? So they know
Yeah,
what-
yeah. You could read them
Okay.
off. Yeah.
So what year they debuted? Is it,
Yes.
okay. So the first one is Reese's Pieces. Second one is Baby Bottle Pops. Okay. Third one is Mallow Cups. Love those. Fourth one is Cowtails, your mom's favorite.
Yeah, that's why I put them on there.
Yeah. And
Shout out
and-
to mom.
Yeah. Shout out to mom. Shout out to mom.
It's only
Uh,
taken 27 episodes to shout out
Wow.
the
our
giver of
family.
life,
Right. You
my
know.
mom.
Yeah, there's that. And the last one is $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then for years, we have 1936,
Uh-huh.
1966,
Mhm.
1977,
Yep.
year of this movie, reason I
Yep.
chose that.
okay, good.
1984 and
Okay.
1998,
1998.
which so I got these off of the Daily Meal, which is
Yes.
a play on the Daily Mail.
Oh.
They did an article about when candies debuted.
Ah,
They didn't have a
okay,
1997 one, which is the year I was born. So
Cool.
I
Oh,
had to
okay,
go
all
with
right, yeah,
1998.
Okay.
So,
One of the things that go ahead.
no, you go
I
ahead.
love the fact that there are no circus peanuts. on this.
Those are the worst
They
candies
were the
ever.
worst candies ever. And then also if you got those like it was like a peanut brittle that's in a black or orange wrapped paper.
I don't
That's
even-
another one.
That's
that's
probably
a-
discontinued in
Wah,
like the
wah.
1810s
That's like
or
you-
something.
Yeah, you you get those and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's not candy.
So I'm gonna have you try to figure
Okay,
these
here we
out.
go. Okay,
I
ready?
have the answer key in my hand
You
over
ready?
here,
Okay.
and so while you read, I'm gonna pull
Okay.
up the website. While you try to figure
okay,
out.
all right. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna
all right.
pull up some of the most popular candies.
wow. Okay.
Because some of these are interesting.
Yeah. Give me a second to do this.
Yeah. So you go ahead. I'm gonna talk. It's just me and the viewers now, or listeners.
I'm gonna be over here in the corner, by the way.
Yeah. He has a fat pink
Did you call me fat?
No, a fat pink Crayola marker.
Yes.
That's washable,
All right.
which I
It
got at
is.
Walmart
Oh,
for our
yes.
thumbnails. I got some like
Nice.
alt colors or whatever.
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Are they bad?
Well, they don't hold up at all. So
All
if you
right.
see a downgrade in the thumbnail resolution, that's
I know a
my
lot
bad.
of people are paying attention to the thumbnail. Okay. Wow.
So while you do that, I found it interesting. 1941 M&Ms.
Oh, no kidding.
1941. Yeah.
That's a
so
historic year.
so it was supposedly
happened.
designed for the soldiers M&Ms. Because they wouldn't melt in their hands or melt in their pockets.
Yes. Tootsie
while
Roll, by
they
the way,
were-
is Tootsie Roll is another favorite of soldiers because
Oh, really?
they don't actually melt. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, mhm.
Bazooka Bubblegum 1947.
Oh,
Jolly Ranchers 1949.
that was
I
I
think
thought
Jolly
that would be a lot
Ranchers are-
earlier
are
than that. But
Hot
yeah.
Tamales 1950.
Yeah.
Pez 1952. Peanut M&Ms 1954.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skipping along here. Starbursts were in 1967. I feel like that was a more modern one.
Yeah.
Laffy Taffy in 1971. Mentos 1972. Fun Dip in 1973 and Pop Rocks in 1975. Jelly Beans in 1976. Twix 1979.
Twix. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
Big League Chew 1980. Kind of
Okay.
interesting there. 1985 Sour Patch Kids. Kind of
Okay.
interesting.
All
Bubble
right.
Tape. Do you remember Bubble Tape?
I do remember Bubble
Bubble
Tape.
Tape was 1988.
Wow.
I might for my RX-7, I might have to throw some Sour Patch Kids and Bubble Tape in there. 1994 Hershey's Cookies and Cream flavor.
1994. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds right. That sounds right.
1995 Caramel Apple Pops.
Oh, those are
Which-
actually good. Mom
those are
loves
amazing,
Those. Yeah, Mom loves
and
those.
I grew up every October, whatever group at school
Yeah.
would sell them.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, the women's club or something would
Yeah.
sell caramel apple pops every October. So every October in junior high and high school,
Oh yeah, those were great.
they were everywhere,
Yeah.
and then they disappeared November 1st.
Yeah.
They only came around once a year, which was
Yeah,
fun.
but Mom loves those too. That's one of her favorites.
So-
too. Okay, I got them all.
I just realized my answer key was totally facing you.
I'm
Uh,
not looking.
okay.
I'm across the room. I am in the other part of Utah right now.
Right, yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah, we're
across the
recording in
bluff.
Utah. Yeah, we're out on a bluff. So, Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. I'm going to say 1984.
No. 1977, the year of this film.
Really?
Now, interestingly enough, it
All
said online that they didn't get popular until 1982 because of E.T.
E.T. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm thrown way off.
Yeah.
Good
Baby
question.
Bottle Pops.
Baby Bottle Pops. I'm saying. What did I say? 1998.
Yes, that is correct.
Hey, I got
you got
one
one
right.
correct.
Okay, it's gonna be a male one.
Mallow Cups.
1936.
1936, that's
Okay,
correct.
Thank you.
Cowtails.
Cowtails, I'm going to say is 77, but that's not right.
84.
84.
And
Oh,
then-
Cowtails are 84.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
easy to remember that.
I
don't know
was going to do Sour
why
Patch
I-
Kids. What?
why I've got an accent.
I don't
now.
know. I don't know. You just
Wait,
gained an
84,
accent.
Yeah.
I was going to do Sour Patch Kids because
Yeah.
of 1985,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
just picked up some Cowtails for Mom, so I
Oh, very nice.
swapped that out.
Very, very nice.
Um, and then
And-
100 grand.
100 grand was in 1966.
Yeah, it's the year you were born.
I
That's why I
wasn't-
pulled that one.
Thank you. That is not, I appreciate that. That is not bad guesses. I got a couple
Yeah,
right.
you just swapped two of them. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's the hard thing about this one is if you get one wrong, you get two wrong. You know.
Well, not
Um,
only, okay, yeah, so I'm like, I got a D, I think. Then,
So,
if we were grading that.
I have
but
some
yeah.
gifts.
Uh-oh. Parting gift?
First of all,
Yeah.
I picked
What's that?
up Mallow Cups.
Mallow Cups.
from the gas station. I've never
Wow.
had them.
Really?
And the reason I chose Mallow Cups
Yeah.
was it's the closest to our Model A I could find. The list started
Oh,
at 1936.
yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah.
so
very cool.
I figured we could try some on the podcast if you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then in my cross
it's not the first time we've eaten during the podcast.
That's
by the
true.
way.
We
We've
just
had
normally don't
cake and
announce
pie.
it.
Yeah, we usually
um
we're out.
in
I'm
my
always eating.
travels to Indiana across the border
Wow.
to
Yeah.
the famed Cracker Barrel, even though we have them here. It's where I got dinner last night.
Yeah.
I got you
Uh-oh. A chunky.
A chunky bar, which
That's
is
a
a big
one.
shareable size. I could
That is
feel
like-
it. You could like break it up into parts.
That is like,
So,
yeah, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
A big chunky bar I saw, which I cannot find at any gas station around here.
Seriously, this is like 4 times the size of
Yeah.
a regular chunky bar. I mean, this is like 4 chunky bricks. I could build a house with chunky bars.
It
yeah.
says it's to share. So
Yeah, it is. Do you want one? I'm okay.
This is probably like ASMR ish, but you can listen to this
All right.
tomorrow on Halloween and eat your Halloween candy with us.
That's right. We are eating the Halloween candy with you. What would Halloween be without candy?
Here you go.
Okay.
Ready? I'm gonna throw
Yep.
this to you
All right.
across the gorge.
All right.
Nice catch. Yeah.
I'm doing the
Oh,
car
the horn from the movie. We'll
well,
get to the movie
We'll
in
get
a
to that in a
second.
minute, but yeah.
I've never
very
had
good.
a mallow cup.
Never.
No.
Okay, these are I love.
Which
them.
is interesting because if these debuted in 1936, this
Yeah.
is way before Reese's. And look
Yeah.
at the shape.
I know.
Reese's copied the shape.
Probably. Oh, and look, there's little trivia inside here.
Oh, is there? It
There's-
says on. Oh, wow.
$2 for every 500 points, or save additional value. What?
Is it like a collect points game?
Yeah, you collect points, and that's interesting.
On the back, it has an excerpt about the Great Depression
right?
and
wow.
how these two brothers would go door to door and sell candy during the Great Depression to keep their family afloat. And then they ended up making these.
But you're right, though. These are. I thought these came after Reese's, and so because I thought that they were like, hey, Reese's came
Yeah.
out with peanut butter cups. We should have cups made with marshmallow.
Yeah.
But maybe Reese's.
Yeah,
Stole-
Reese's might be the copycat.
I think that we
it's
just
kind of like
uncovered this incredible thing.
Trader Joe's
Yeah.
knocked off Oreos, but they
Ah.
made a candy cane flavor.
Yes.
Superior to
Oh,
Oreos.
absolutely, definitely.
So I'm going to try
one of
this
these.
mallow cup for the
I'm gonna
first
try-
time.
Well, I'm going to have one, yeah.
It's just marshmallow and chocolate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to try not to chew into the mic.
Too hard for me not to do that. But.
Candy break.
All right. Sorry.
Not bad.
Delicious. They're so sweet, though. I mean, if you want to talk about something that will send you into a sugar coma, and I pray that you don't have diabetes,
Yeah.
that you will have it, though, after you eat one of these. They're delicious.
Yeah, no,
I
that's a
love them.
lot. That
That's
is a
of
lot.
sugar. It's
Wow.
very sweet. I'm actually only going to have a little bit because, number one, we're on a podcast right now.
Yeah. I had the whole cup. Probably shouldn't have.
Well,
I'm committed to my craft.
We have had Reese's Pieces right before the podcast here.
Oh,
remember?
God. What was that? Too Fast, Too Furious? I had a whole box of...
Yeah, you didn't feel good after that. You didn't.
I think we've talked about it, but I had a whole box of Reese's Pieces
Yeah.
right before we started recording.
Yeah.
And you were asking me, you're like, oh, so how about that 25-year import law? And I'm like, skip. I was trying to get past. I was like,
Pass.
yes, it's a 25-year rule where you can't
You
import.
weren't. Yeah, you weren't doing very good on that.
I definitely hit a wall, but these podcasts are so long that I bounced back.
Yeah,
luckily.
no, yeah, it is. So I hope everyone has an awesome Halloween.
Yeah, go out and celebrate tomorrow.
Celebrate
safely.
Safely. Have candy. Enjoy it. Be sick to your stomach when you want to be, but enjoy. Like we're having mallow cups and chunkies
Yeah.
and all sorts of stuff. So
We should try to find some vintage mallow cup boxes to put in the Model A.
that would be cool.
Kind of fun to have like a little
That would be very cool.
display
to
of
have-
like period correct.
Period correct candy.
Find like some tins, like old
Yes.
tins of like there's a guy on YouTube who does MRE reviews.
Yeah.
So meals ready to eat, like
Oh,
military.
right. Yes.
And he's gotten some unopened MREs from like World War II, and like
Ugh. That
he's
is
tried
gross.
some of them.
Did he? Is he still alive?
Yeah,
All right.
he got some chocolate, I think from like Vietnam maybe or the Korean War.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, it's a little white.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
would
he like
so.
ate around it or something. It's look
What?
it up. I forget his name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's MRE reviews.
Okay.
He like
All right.
eats MREs that have been like shelved for 70 years.
Well, I think we're far enough in by
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, we're
And so-
way far enough in.
But And thank you for indulging us in the eating candy
Yeah.
on Halloween. So
We won't make it a thing.
Okay.
But
it
happy
is.
Halloween,
It's good.
everyone.
Yes, thank you. This was a fun surprise. Thank
Yeah.
you for doing that. It was a fun surprise to have candy and have a little trivia game here too.
Is there a little bit of coconut in those cups?
I think so.
I'm getting coconut.
Yeah, there's a little
bit
coconut.
of
There's like you get a little of that. Yeah,
hints of coconut.
very.
So
very good.
we watched The Car from 1977.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the movie?
I you know what? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was of the 5 movies that we watched for Halloween, this was my second favorite. I mean, I love Ghostbusters, obviously, but this was my second favorite, and it was one I was pleasantly surprised, and it was nice that it drew me in as far as, like, I got to like some of the characters. They were, it was like this, I've known towns like this that were, they only had a couple cops on the police department and not a big city thing, and just kind of cool. And you got to know some of the characters. Although, I have to say,
What?
I'm bummed out that one of the characters didn't get killed. I'm really bummed out
that
about the
terrible, rude guy.
Yeah. So there's our spoilers now.
We're
spoilers.
post 10-minute mark. We do spoilers after 10 minutes.
Yeah,
There's a guy in the movie that
He's awful.
He witnesses the first murder.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Beats his
what kind of
wife.
car? Oh, yeah, beats his wife.
Beats his wife.
Side
first of all.
note.
Yeah.
And it's totally breezed over
Yeah.
like a 70s movie.
Yes.
Although there was no drinking and driving in this movie.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's not a
That
true
is true.
70s car movie.
Correct.
But he witnesses. He's the first witness to a murder when he doesn't get killed.
Right.
Because the first 2 people killed are the cyclists, and they're together. They're the
Okay.
only 2 out there.
Can I start with that, please?
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
From the very first scene,
Yeah.
and that is like the very first scene is there's 2 bicyclists and they're on the mountain road, right?
Yeah.
Immediately I knew they're going to buy it. I knew they were going to buy it immediately, okay? Number 2, if you're a bicyclist on a mountain road, I don't care if you're in a movie or not, you're going to die. It just is the way
100%.
it is. It just is the way it is.
You're not destined to live.
No, exactly. So that's what I knew immediately as soon as the movie started. And I'm like, yeah, these 2 are going to buy it. And by the way, if you ride a bike on the mountains, and actually if you're a mountain cyclist, God bless you, and I hope everything works out wonderfully for you forever.
But you're gonna die.
But you're gonna
die.
I mean, you're on a mountain
Salt
road
to
on
the
a
earth, but
bicycle.
You're gonna die.
Are you Jerry Seinfeld?
You're gonna
dude?
die.
Hey, what's wrong with these peanuts? Who's riding these bikes on the
Oh, my
mountain? Okay.
I did forget to say this movie was directed by Elliot Silverstein, starring James Brolin, Kathleen Lloyd, and John Marley. But go on.
Sorry. So anyway, that was the very first thing. Knew they were going to die. And by the way, still, and this is just one of those movie tropes. No one knows how to go perpendicular to a car chasing them.
So the bicyclist is going uphill. In the lane, and the car is coming up, speeding up behind them. It's a killer car, what this movie's about.
Right.
An unmanned killer car.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the car in a second.
Right.
But the car's coming up behind him. Just go into the oncoming lane, or like go onto the shoulder.
Or
but
stop
literally,
pedaling.
Or they keep pedaling as the car is coming up, and like the front bumper of the car is hitting the back tire of the bike. Just go off to like one side, like literally one side.
I guarantee you can stop your bike faster than a giant car can stop itself. You definitely can get out of the way from a giant car.
So anyway, they get killed. Whatever.
Then,
then a guy
we're
playing
very nonchalant about
what
that.
a French horn. It's the weirdest thing. This guy's just like playing a French horn, trying to hitchhike.
You know what's so funny about that too?
What?
My dad played a French horn.
Really?
Yes, in the municipal band of this town.
Oh, okay.
And he played the French. So when the guy was playing the French horn, I'm like, well, that's kind of a cool instrument, but what is the deal with him? What is the deal with the?
Oh my God! It's a
with
Seinfeld
playing the
episode.
French horn?
Although I'm looking, we still have the Amazon thing up because we watched this on Amazon.
Yes.
Duel is right below it.
That's right. Yeah.
Which apparently inspired this movie.
Really?
Partially.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but go ahead. So the guy witnesses 2 deaths.
Right. So the guy,
with the French
this
horn.
wife beater in the house witnesses
Literal
the French
wife
horn
beater.
guy.
Not even you see him.
He literally
beating
hits his wife,
Yeah.
and the French horn guy actually tries to break him up.
Yes, he does. He
So anyway,
seemed like a cool guy. I'd like to know the French horn guy, but
he's dead. This old guy witnesses the French horn guy getting hit by the car repetitively, and he dies. So the cops come and ask him, "Hey, what'd you see?"
Yeah.
And he starts getting mad at them.
Yeah. He's
and
mad
they're
at
like,
him.
was it 2 or 4 door? And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I
Oh.
didn't see much. And then he's like, get out of my face. And they're like, hey, man, we're trying to solve this
right.
murder. If you could at least tell us if the car had 2 or 4 doors.
Right.
And then he's like, it had a license plate. It didn't have a license plate. And the cops are like, all right, man. I don't,
get out of
I
my
don't-
face.
Yeah.
You get
He was getting mad at them
Yeah.
for trying to ask him
So-
questions about what he saw.
So immediately I'm thinking, great, you got an angry guy, because usually in movies, if the movie lets you hate a person,
Yeah.
then usually they're going to buy it. They're going to die.
Yeah.
Because usually that's what
You say
happens.
buy?
is-
I thought it was bite it.
well, bite it,
Why are you
buy
saying
it.
buy it?
Buy it like buy the farm. He bought the farm, he died. That's an expression that
Oh,
old
okay.
people like
Yeah.
me use.
Yeah. Back when you invented mallow cups.
Yes, I did. So
I guess
yeah.
buy the yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay.
buy the farm, he's going to buy it. He's going to bite it, whatever. So anyway, you always think that the guy who's being the jerk is going to get it.
Right. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Doesn't die.
Doesn't die.
He actually becomes
Oh.
helpful at the end while still being an a-hole.
So are they like saying that being a wife beater is a good thing?
If you have a truck full of dynamite, yes. You can beat your kids. Take notes. You can beat your wife if you have a truck full of dynamite and are trying to kill a murderous car.
I think someone should cross-stitch that on a pillow.
Yeah. a nice
Cross-stitch
stitch of
that.
that.
That you can beat your wife if you drive a truck full of dynamite.
Right. Yeah.
I think
That's
somehow
it's a little long-winded. It's a little
somehow
long
I
in
have
the
a bumper
tooth, but-
sticker that says that.
oh
but
god. Throw it
Anyway.
on the Pacifica.
That's right.
So speaking of the
So,
car,
yes, the
let's
car.
talk about the car.
The car.
Because it is a custom-made car for the movie, which is super exciting.
Yeah, and it's very custom made, really, I think. But go ahead.
Yes, which I honestly don't think you were saying while we were
I'm
watching.
gonna eat some more Mallow Cup too while you explain.
While we were watching, you were saying you'd like to build one at
Yeah,
home.
I
It
would.
probably wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world because it's
No.
very simple body work.
It is.
It's not like a Countach kit car or anything.
No.
So it's based off of a 1971 Lincoln Continental Mark III, which had the 460 cubic inch V8 or 7.5 liter V8. I've driven this engine twice in a Lincoln Continental Town Car from 1978. The last year it was offered in a sedan, or in the town car at least. And then also in a 1991 Ford F-250. They were using this engine up until 96. I mean, it's a huge, V8. It's a 7.5 liter, of course, modified over the years to fit emission standards and whatnot. But interestingly enough, this car is heavily modified by George Barris.
No.
This is a George Barris
good
creation.
old George Barris. Wow.
George Barris is one of, well, first of all, he did obviously the 66 Batmobile. The original Batmobile
Yeah, the
is a
actual-
George Barris
Yeah,
creation.
that's cool.
He built a ton of custom cars for celebrities. If you go to the Volo Auto Museum, he's signed almost all the cars. He signed the Mach 5 that they have there, which he didn't
Did he
even
really?
Yeah, he didn't even build.
No, he didn't design
It's
that
so
one.
funny. If you go to the Volo Auto Museum, which is
He
a great
just-
museum, they have a ton of movie cars. George Barris literally signed like all of the cars.
I think he probably goes into parking lots and just starts signing cars. I think that's what he does.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I think he signed Kit and the DeLorean, and he had nothing to do with those at all. I feel like they just gave him a Sharpie, and they're like, George,
George,
you know what? It's whatever.
George, no, that's not.
Yeah,
No,
no,
oh, never mind.
All right,
just
fine.
fine.
I'm
Whatever.
90% sure he signed the Ectomobile, the
really?
Ecto
That's
one that
not
they have
his.
there.
No.
So anyway,
Wow.
George Barris is this kooky guy.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen him in interviews or anything like that, and he built a lot of custom cars for movies and celebrities and stuff. So I actually went on his website, Barris, I believe it's Barris.com, and this is the excerpt they have about the car.
Just one thing though. Before that,
Yeah.
there is coconut in these Mallow cups.
Is there?
I just want to let you know.
I
that.
keep
There's coconut.
I keep picking coconut
Mallow.
out of my teeth.
in the Mallow cups. Not sponsored by, but Mallow
Not
could
sponsored.
sponsor us if they wanted to.
Well, I guess they have to be still around. I don't know who makes them.
Well, they are. I don't know.
If they're still independent, check
Yeah.
the back. If they're
I'm gonna
still
check the back.
independent,
Yeah.
huge props to them.
Bayer
Yeah.
company
I don't
called
even know
Boyer.
who that is.
Boyer.
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 Now that's a 1900s company name.
Hey, Toots.
Boy-
Hey,
yeah.
we're on Boyer Company.
Hey there, son.
Hey there, son.
I did a
Well,
Cadillac
Skiddly-Doo.
Fleetwood review, and I did a mid-Atlantic accent in it. I'm
All right.
actually kind of proud of myself.
All right, very good.
So this is from the Barris website
Yes.
about the movie. The cars from the movie. So it says, and I quote, "Designed for the movie The Car, starring James Brolin, made from a 1971 Lincoln. Fenders were 20-gauge steel shaped over the original body. The grille was handmade from square steel tubing. 4 bumpers were made from heavy 12-gauge steel. 7-inch single headlights sunk behind the grille and fender. The body was raised to the upper door line. 4 radius wheel wells around a 6-inch reverse deep chrome wheels and BF Goodrich tires. The top was chopped 4 inches with all black transparent windows. Full body roll bars installed all over and around the stunt driver. A steel tube cannon was installed on the passenger side, which had a telephone pole inside and a steel cap which housed dynamite and black powder. When the stuntman rolled the car, he would trigger the tube telephone pole by igniting the dynamite, which drove the pole into the ground, and roll the car 5 times. Finished with 20 coats of black pearl lacquer. A total of 4 of the cars were made."
20 coats.
20 coats. That's from the Barris website.
That's a lot of coats
It's a
of
lot
paint.
of paint.
Lot of paint.
And it
I mean,
looks matte black. It looks like it's primer black
Yeah,
in the movie.
it does really. That's enough. Just the paint alone added probably 5 tons to the car.
Oh, probably.
You know,
So it ended up being 20 feet long. It is a custom on top of a Mark III Lincoln Continental.
okay.
Which I thought was really cool. And in the trivia section of the podcast, we're gonna have a lot of repetition from that excerpt,
Okay. All
but
right.
some added trivia about the car.
All right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. The car is super menacing.
It is
super
yeah,
super
it is.
menacing.
It's
I think
fun.
it fits really well,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that it wasn't a normal car.
Right.
That it wasn't
Yes.
just an off-the-shelf car.
Yes. Because this is. I mean, we did. Did we do Christine last time?
No, that was Pumpkinhead was last
Pumpkinhead
episode
was
with
last-
Leo.
But so right. So we did the. This has kind of been the sentient car month.
Right.
So that was kind of the.
Which is really one of the main ways to do horror with a car.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
with retaining it
Yeah.
being a car podcast. Yeah.
Although I think there's not really that many horror movies with cars.
Yeah.
That really feature cars.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and then we kind of joked because we were talking about this. What would happen if Christine met the car? Like the two against each other.
Right.
What would happen?
It's very interesting because it's 2 schools of thought, really.
Mhm.
Because Christine can rebuild herself.
Right.
Anytime she takes on damage,
Right.
she
Right.
reforms.
Right.
This car doesn't take any damage at all.
True. Yes.
Because he
True.
shoots the windshield, nothing happens.
Yeah.
He shoots the tires, nothing happens.
So, well, because of the BF Goodrich tires.
Oh, yeah, BF Goodrich. Shout out BF Goodrich.
Shout
Shout out BF Goodrich.
If they want to be a sponsor, that's good.
and Nitto tires can suck a fat one, I guess.
Wow. Wow.
But what?
Yeah.
He rolls himself over the police cars
Yeah.
in a stunt. That was actually a stunt driver that did that, and I assume that's where the telephone pole out of the passenger
There's no
side. would-
CGI there, by the way.
Yeah,
That
there's
was
no
all
CGI in
practical.
1977.
Yep.
Which, if you haven't seen the movie, I would highly recommend just going on YouTube. They have a ton
Yeah.
of clips from the movie.
Okay.
You can kind of get a gist of it.
Yeah.
You can
It's
pretty
fun.
much piece it together. It's
Yeah.
a pretty simple plot. But
Yeah.
he rolls himself, which you see in the footage. The wheel comes off of the car.
Yeah,
and
which
then
is
the
great.
car just drives away unscathed.
Wah, wah. Yeah,
yeah.
that
Which
happened.
the director is quoted as saying, "It went according to plan, but he wished that the car stayed together better. But I guess that's what happened when you blow up cars." And I'm like, yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's it. Things
Um,
fall apart. Things explode.
But yeah, so I don't know who would win in a fight, Christine or
Yeah, you're
the
right,
car.
because if one rebuilds itself and the other never takes on damage, that's like when an unstoppable
Yeah.
force meets an
Immovable
immovable object.
yeah.
Like what would happen? So.
And the other interesting thing is that they both have a, sort of a signature thing.
yeah,
Christine turns her headlights on.
yes,
Very menacing. This
Yeah.
car has a horn.
a train horn,
A
like a
very
like
loud
a,
train
like
horn.
a truck
Yeah.
engine train horn, which is the signature of it, and you
right,
hear it
which
all
is
the time.
where it's not a standard horn. We'll get into.
No, it's not, but
it's changed a little bit, but
and it gives itself away all the time in the movie.
yeah,
Like it's really far away, and it's like 2 miles away.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks. I know you're coming. Thanks.
Which this actually came before Christine.
It did?
technically.
Okay.
Well, actually, not technically, fully, because as we talked about with the Christine episode,
Yeah.
Stephen King hadn't even finished the novel by the time the movie was coming out. So then that means the
Oh.
book must have come out in
Alright,
84 as well.
Right. Okay. Very good.
So yeah, this was fully 77 was fully before Christine. This is
So Stephen King really just completely ripped off. The guy.
I think I like Stephen King's
I do too.
adaptation better.
Yeah.
But again, like Christine,
Mhm.
there's no reason the car's possessed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Although
There's
this
no-
one has definitely devil overtones
Yeah.
because it won't step on hollowed ground
Yeah.
or it won't drive on hollowed
Right.
ground. And then when
Cemetery is what we're talking about.
right,
Ooh,
and then spoiler alert,
spooky cemetery.
when the car quote explodes at the
Yeah.
end, when they explode the rocks over him, you can
Yeah.
kind of see a devil face in the fire.
Yeah, which is
Kind of like a dragon, kind of, left
I-
it up to your interpretation.
not sure how they did that, because I actually think that was pretty cool for 1977.
Oh yeah, for
The
1977, a hell of an effect.
Yeah, the effect was really cool, and it was like, there's something appears in the flames and smoke, and it's like, well, was that animated? Could it be animated? How did they do that? So
Yeah.
very cool that they did that. I think that was a shout out to the special effects guys doing
Right.
this. So that was pretty darn cool.
So this definitely has more devil overtones.
Oh,
where
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I feel like Christine's more of like witch,
Yeah,
almost
just
like witch possessive.
satanic. Yeah, well,
whatever.
it's satanic devil. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you have more of I don't know. Yeah, I mean, which would you say has a more evil vibe to it, or are they pretty much equal?
I don't know. Like, I feel like Christine is smarter.
Yeah,
like
it could
Christine
be.
is like a smarter.
Smart car.
Like, not a smart car. Gee, if Christine was a smart car, it would have been over in 20 minutes. But like, I feel like Christine is like more of like slowly sucks
Yeah,
someone in.
Yeah,
And like is
yeah,
more
yeah.
methodical and planned out. This
Yeah.
car just tries to ram you.
just tries
Although-
to kill everything in its path.
I think
Yeah.
honestly the coolest scene
Yeah,
is when the main character goes into his garage and he's fetching something and the
Yeah.
car is in the garage,
you pointed
but
that
they
out.
completely pan over it and
Yeah.
you didn't even notice it.
I didn't even notice it. That was so cool. You said that. So we're watching it together, and James Brolin walks past the car in the garage, and I didn't even notice it. And you said, "Oh, the car's in there," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Yeah," and he turns around, and sure enough, the car's in. So very cool the way they did that.
really,
That's
really
fun.
cool that I mean you didn't even pick
I
up
didn't even
on
pick
it, which
up
is
on it, yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That means they did it really well.
Yeah.
I'm just, I have a weird knack for
Yeah,
I
it's
always
cool. It was-
find every car in every scene. Even when I'm watching like regular like we're me and my girlfriend are watching The Outer Banks right now. I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix.
Nope,
It's
never
called The
seen
Outer
it.
Banks.
No.
It's a cheesy show, but
Okay.
the main characters, they live on this, it's beach town. They drive
Oh, okay.
this mid-70s air-cooled bus. It's
Oh,
a
nice,
Volkswagen
fun.
camper van.
Is it-
They
is it
call
one
it
of
the
the-
Twinkie.
Okay. But it's a van. It's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those Volkswagen
Which is
vans,
funny
yeah.
because I
Those are
believe
cool.
in the second season,
Yeah.
she sent me a picture. In the second season, they have a first-gen van. But
Oh.
in the first season, they have a second-gen van.
Oh,
And I'm
really?
like, I was
Oh.
like, no.
Oh, no, you didn't.
No.
No, you didn't.
No.
I'm calling that
And
one
she's
out.
like, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, they switched the vans. Can you believe this?
Did you say to her, you did not catch that they totally switched the
Yeah.
vans? No.
But like even in the background of this movie, when they're just practicing the band,
Yes.
I'm like, is that
Yeah.
a Ford Maverick up on the hill?
I
think it was a Ford Maverick.
Well, and we talked about the police cars.
yeah,
That definitely Dodge Monacos because 77 was
Dodge Monacos.
Dodge
I remember
Monacos, but
reading
also
it because it
Furies.
said in the trivia in parentheses, like the Bluesmobile.
Right.
Couple of Plymouth Furies,
Couple,
I believe.
yeah, Plymouth Furies definitely. Those were very popular cop cars.
Yeah.
The Plymouth Furies. So
very run-of-the-mill
very
cop cars.
absolutely love those though. Would love to have one because they're kind of a copperish brown color.
Yeah.
With the sheriff logo on the side and the old police lights on top. Just love that whole
See,
thing.
I love. I'm really getting into like 60s and 70s cars
Yeah.
recently. I recently drove that Plymouth Belvedere I sent you.
Oh yeah, right.
I think I might get the picture I took of that car blown up as a poster.
Nice.
it's not even my car. It's literally like one of my viewers' cars. But I might blow it up and make it a poster just because I love the look of that stock 60s car. Not a single thing was done to it.
Really?
Original engine.
Yeah.
It had, I think it was resprayed, but like just the straight body lines, original suspension, hubcaps, all that stuff. I love the way those cars look. So I understand why you would want just like a regular cop car from them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, that would just be so cool. I remember Adam 12. There was a show called Adam 12.
Of course.
And they had...
Which is why people call the police 12 now.
Right.
Everyone says F12.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so... screw the police.
Yeah. So that was... Like, the lights they had on the top of their car weren't even rotating or anything. They just literally were like red lamps.
Yeah.
Which for some reason I thought, because I love rotating lights. I mean, I love like cop car lights and stuff and rotating lights. And for some reason I thought it was so cool that they just had solid beam red lights on top of their car. I thought that was pretty cool. With the speaker in the middle and the horn thing. And,
we had a matchbox of Adam 12.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it was specifically, but it was a little cop car that had 12 on the top.
Yeah,
so I'd
very,
assume.
very cool. I grew up with that. Of course, my dad being a cop, so we had to watch Adam 12. I mean, that was the thing. Of course. But yeah, that was really, something I grew up with, and it was one of the things that one of the reasons why I really enjoy or really like cop car lights. I think those are really, really cool. But anyway.
I wonder if that's going to happen with today's modern cop cars. If like someone 30, 40, 50 years from now is going to be like, oh my God, a Crown Vic?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my, or like, I mean, even less so the Ford Explorers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the Crown, now this is going on a full tangent, but I feel like the Crown Vic.
We never do that, by the way.
Because right now there's a huge anti-cop movement.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the anti-cop movement started at the same time that they switched to Ford Explorers and SUVs.
Yeah.
Now that the anti-cop movement is not because of the Ford Explorers.
No, I think it is. I think it goes all back to Ford Explorers.
Yeah, I don't think the true reason there's riots in the streets and stuff is because people are like, we can't stand those EcoBoost 3.6s and those Explorers. But I think the Explorers are definitely going to go down in history as like the bad cop car.
Yeah, it could be.
As like not like that the car was bad, but like bad cops.
Right, exactly.
Because if you look at all the videos of the riots from last year, and even here in Chicago, or not here in Chicago, back home in Chicago,
in the Midwest,
because we're in Utah.
We're in Utah.
Yeah, okay.
The vulture in the sky.
There were so many images of burnt cop cars from the riots, and they were all Explorers.
Yeah.
You didn't really see that with Crown Vics.
What's the most recent, besides Ford Explorers, what's the most recent cop car? Because they're four-door, like, they almost look like not a Mustang, but they are...
Oh, there are Chargers.
Chargers.
There's a couple Chargers here in town.
Yeah.
But it's mostly Ford Explorers.
Yeah, it is.
99% of fleets now are SUVs. If it's not a Ford Explorer, it's a big Tahoe for the sergeants.
Yeah.
Or it's the occasional Dodge Durango.
True.
So a lot of sheriff companies will have Dodge Durango. But the Crown Vics are getting phased out. The Chevy Caprices are getting phased out.
Yeah.
If they're not already phased out.
That is true.
think our town doesn't have any Crown Vics anymore.
I don't think so. I've not seen any Crown Vics.
Highways.
Chargers, yes.
Highways, I see Caprices all the time.
Yeah.
There's a special police order only Caprice.
Yeah.
Which is actually what I got pulled over by in Springfield.
Oh.
It was actually a Caprice.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was good.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
And actually my friend has an ex police Caprice.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to review it at some point. I actually got to reach out to him. Anyway, so it's moving towards SUVs, and I just wonder if we're going to look back at cop cars and think, oh, that's so cool to have a Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not going to be looked upon favorably.
And speaking of movies.
Right.
There is a movie called Cop Car. There is I was looking on, I think it was either Amazon or Netflix, and it's a movie called Cop Car. Not even sure what it is or anything about it, so very interesting.
Maybe we'll do that eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
There's also, I think, like a Keith Urban song about cop car. Fell in love in the back of a cop car. Yeah, it's about like
what?
It's some millionaire that hasn't stepped foot on a farm in the last 20 years, writing a song about doing bad stuff on a farm.
Okay, all right.
Whatever.
So,
But yeah, getting back to this
That's it.
movie,
Yeah.
because the cop cars are super cool.
Yeah,
I liked it. I like. I wish here's the
you're
thing.
having a battle, internal mental
I didn't love
battle
it.
with
I didn't
yourself.
love it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's a character that I really liked, the female character in
Yes.
the movie.
Yes.
And spoiler alert,
Yeah.
she dies.
Yeah.
Which a car comes flying through literally flying through the house.
Yeah, literally flying through the house, all the way through it, not
all
just
the way
into
through
it, but like in one side, out the other.
Kills her.
Yeah.
I thought she was a very good character, and they killed her
Yeah.
right away. Not right
Yeah,
away.
well, no,
They
not-
killed her like pretty much without. She sees the lights in the distance,
Yeah.
and then she's dead.
Yeah.
But also at the end of the movie or towards, they never mention it again.
No. No, and I liked that character too. I think actually she had a lot of moxie. She was a very likable character.
She's in our
The
intro
kids-
theme song for Halloween.
Is
If
she?
you guys have been listening to the Halloween theme songs, she's the one that yells, "Come on, get out of your stupid car" in the intro theme song.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
that's a clip actually from this movie. One of the
So
few clips.
I actually was I was kind of upset too. I have to admit I was kind of upset that the movie killed that character because I was hoping maybe she'd get hurt but not killed, and then she would be at the end with
Well, and also the
James
car comes
Brolin.
flying through the house,
yeah
and then the camera stays on the house
yeah
for like 10 seconds.
yeah. It's a long time.
It's an uncomfortable amount where you think, oh, okay, I should be looking for rubble moving.
Right.
And
like
then you're
she's
going to see
come
a
out.
hand.
Yeah,
and
and
you're
then
going to
she's
see
gonna
her
get
climb
out of
and
yeah,
be
she's
like,
gonna climb out.
oh, my
Oh,
God.
good.
But then it literally hard cuts to a body bag.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, nope.
I guess
All right.
I guess that
That's tough.
that ended differently than I
Yeah.
expected. Yeah. So no, and it's too bad because she was a great character.
Well, very much like Christine, though. They never
Yeah.
gave Arnie any leeway.
No, not at all.
Well,
No.
Arnie died
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, I guess it's over.
Right.
All right. Call it a day. Let me get my sweet
Like-
68 Charger and drive home.
Well, that was the thing is that, yeah, I mean, you had so many deaths within a couple days in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think also, by the way, I have a theory
Okay.
that the car did not like musical instruments
Okay.
because the guy with the French horn nailed
Died,
at the
yeah.
very beginning. All the kids in the band playing in the band,
Yeah.
it tried to run him over. It's got to do with musical instruments.
Okay.
That's it. That's all it is. Musical instruments.
I think it was just attracting the car. I think it was just loud noises.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
I'm kidding. Whatever. It,
yeah, this is-
what's the deal with the musical
God, not
instruments?
this. Should we do Seinfeld's car show? Should we do a couple
Oh my
episodes of comedians in cars getting coffee?
No.
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 You don't like it?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I
No.
know why you don't
No.
like it, and it kind of
No.
makes sense.
No. No.
I enjoyed it
No.
with seeing some of my
No.
favorite comedians on there, but I understand your point of Jerry Seinfeld always makes it sound like stand-up was the hardest
Yes.
career path ever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. Like anything where you're going on your own is a grind for sure,
Yes.
and it's not easy.
Yeah.
But he says in multiple episodes that being a stand-up is the hardest job in the world,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's really not.
It's not.
You
It's not.
tell jokes.
You
I
stand on
couldn't do it, but
You could.
know.
Anybody could do it. Anyone can do it. And there's actually a comedian who talks about that whole thing that she literally talks about the fact that any person, if given enough time,
oh yeah,
you could get on stage night after night, and that's
Yeah.
what comedians do. And I'm not saying that it's the easiest job in
right.
the world.
You have to put in your 10,000 hours, and
Yes, the easiest job in the world is Vanna White. That is the easiest job in the world. You literally stand there. You don't have to turn numbers or letters around.
Vanna White,
Wheel of
what's that?
Fortune.
Oh,
She
yeah,
turns
yeah,
the
yeah.
letters around for Wheel of Fortune. Literally,
Yeah.
literally the easiest job on the face of the planet. No idea how she did that for so many years and all that stuff. And that is to me, if someone comes up to me and says, life isn't fair, and I would say, you're right, it isn't, Vanna White. That's all I have to
Yeah.
say. Life isn't fair. Why did that happen to Vanna White? Why did Vanna White have
Right
the
place,
easiest
right
job?
time, I guess.
I guess so. So
because she was in on the ground floor, though,
what's
right?
the deal with Vanna
Oh,
White?
Jesus.
So, no, I'm just saying that. So Jerry Seinfeld is saying, that being a comedian is so tough and so hard and so brutal and all that. Yeah, when you start out, absolutely,
Yeah.
as a comedian, I know it's super tough to get in front of an audience. It's super tough to do that night after night. It's super tough to be on the road all the time and doing all that stuff. But it is not the hardest job in the world. I have worked some really awful, terrible,
Yeah.
horrible jobs, much worse than standing up in front of a crowd and telling some jokes.
Yeah.
The other thing is they talk about it. I think one of the reasons why comedians say that it's such a hard job is they don't want other people getting into that industry. They
Yeah,
don't want
and
competition.
I think they want to seem like they are.
Actually doing some work.
Yeah, because
like legitimizing their whole
which is
career.
funny because Tom Segura in
Yeah.
one of his Tom Segura is my favorite stand-up, and
Mhm.
I like literally I am a stand-up comedy nerd. I watch all
I
the
do
specials.
too. I like it.
I love them all.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is my job, like an hour a day. He's like, if this
Yeah.
goes poorly, it's not even the biggest part of my day.
Yeah.
Like if this,
Right.
if telling jokes doesn't go right tonight, it's like I still got like 23 other hours of stuff.
Right. Well, and that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I am a writer, and people say, "Oh, writing is the hardest thing in the world. It's the hardest job, and writing is so tough." Anybody who's an author and things like that, it's not.
I just always
It's
think
not.
of, I have a
It's
friend
not.
who drives ambulances.
Yeah.
She's got a tough job.
Yeah. Yes.
She has to.
Doctors have tough
She's
jobs.
driving, and they have to
Teachers
say,
have tough
"Hey,
jobs.
we lost the guy in the
Yeah.
back,"
Right.
and she has to go home and then,
Yeah. Yeah.
be normal, try to be normal.
Doctors have tough jobs.
Yeah.
Teachers have tough jobs.
Yeah.
Moms have tough jobs. There are so many tough jobs.
And that's not to
Comedians are
say anything white collar or desk job isn't
Right.
hard, but
No, not mentally. I mean, yeah, mentally hard. Yeah, very difficult.
Yeah.
There's tons and tons of people that there is a guy who I know. Look this up. It's Bluefisher. Bluefish. If you look up Bluefish, this guy started hauling bricks up
Yeah.
ladders, a pallet of bricks at a time, like 80, 100 pounds, hauling these up ladders. He is the one who said that is a tough job.
yeah.
And he said that to so many people. He's like, no, he goes, I understand when you work in an office, it's tough mentally.
Yeah.
But when you talk about tough physically, you talk about a tough job, sweat dripping in your face, you got
Yeah.
100 pounds, hauling things up. Those are tough jobs. Digging ditches, tough
Yeah.
job. Anyway.
No, I agree. I agree.
You know what's not a tough job?
What?
Is exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
which
say
is
two guys sitting on couches in Utah.
eating mallow, eating mallow cups.
Maybe yeah.
This is the easiest thing in the entire
Oh, yeah.
world. It has
And
actually. So
Yeah, I'm not saying my job of reviewing cars is hard. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm very fortunate. This morning I woke up and I drove a Tesla Model Y Performance, which is one of the fastest cars I've ever driven. And then I got out of that and I got into a Dodge Challenger Hellcat with a 6-speed manual
you
that
go.
makes 717 horsepower.
Yeah.
And I got to drive it as fast as I want around a little track.
there you go.
I'm not
Tough-
saying
tough
my
day.
yeah.
Tough day.
I
Wham,
texted
wham,
my
crying
friend. I'm
for you.
like,
Crying
tough
for you.
day today. That I'm
Wham, wham.
driving combined well over
You
1,000
need me to call you a
horsepower
ambulance? Wham wham.
cars. Although it is, it's tough in its own ways. It's
Yeah.
tough mentally of that it could all be just turned off one day
Yep.
and then,
Yep.
or
No, that is for
But
everybody.
I'm not trying to say my job is particularly hard either.
Well, you know what another tough job is?
What?
Shooting this movie, The Car. I'm
Oh,
trying
God.
to
Yeah,
bring us
trying
back
to
to
bring
the
it back.
movie. Sorry, we went on such a tangent there.
Yeah,
but
no. Is it a hard?
No, not really.
They're just standing out in the middle of the
that's the
desert
other-
filming a car drive.
That's the other thing. Actors will tell you that
Yeah.
their job is so hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on. You are. I have made movies. I've been in
You
movies.
make millions to play pretend. Like, let's
Exactly.
be honest here.
Right. That is what you do. That is what every kid does as they grow
Although
up.
I
is
will
play
say, anyone who's worked under Stanley Kubrick, that's a tough job. Or with like Mel Gibson during one of his anti-Semitic rants.
pretend. Yeah, that would
That's
be
a
a tough
tough day.
job. That's a tough job. That is a tough. I get you. That is a tough job. But no, I mean, really, getting to do what you enjoy doing
Yeah.
is not really a tough job.
Yeah.
I've had tough jobs where I hated what I did.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated what I did, and that was a tough job. But when, whether it's writing or if it's something you love to do, like if you're a comedian and you love to make people laugh, what an awesome gift, and what a great thing that is to be able to do. Yeah, there's parts. By the way, there are parts of every single job on the planet that suck. I am
Right.
sure that Vanna White has some things in her job that suck.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But in general, no things. A lot of us, especially in this generation, in this time, and in this geographic location,
Yeah. Utah.
Utah,
Utah.
we don't really have it that rough. Honestly,
Shout out to Moab.
Exactly.
Shout out to Arches.
Exactly.
And shout out to
anyway.
Canyonlands National Park.
Why?
Because it's right across the street from Arches.
Oh,
Literally across the street from Arches
and
National
doesn't get
Park.
shout outs? Or
No one goes. Everyone's like, oh, Arches, because it's on the license plate of Utah. And it has the beautiful arch. That's a 3-mile hike that my girlfriend and I said, not
Really?
today. It's too hot. It's too hot. It's hilarious. We have a
No
picture
shout
with
out.
the
No
arch
shout out.
from like a mile, like literally, it's a tiny speck in the right-hand corner of we made some poor lady take our picture with it, and it's a tiny speck in the corner of the screen. And we're like, that's the famous arch that
Wow.
everyone goes.
Wow.
It's a 3-mile hike.
Yeah. Did
So,
you
I'm not
when you
doing
were
that.
out there though? Did you hear birds above you? Like,
Yeah.
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 Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
yeah, I mean, I
Like
love
hawks and
Utah
stuff,
so
but,
much.
yeah.
I spent a day in Arches.
Yeah, very cool.
Did I?
Utah's. I
I
love
did
Utah.
stay in Utah.
I love
stayed a
Utah.
night in Moab.
I love Utah.
Yeah.
I think Utah's
Arches
great.
is definitely something to go see. It's very much a driving national park. You kind of drive to each spot. There is hiking, but it's more of a driving thing. And if you go to Arches National Park, shout out to Arches National Park.
Yeah.
Go into the gift shop before you go
Okay.
into the park.
Yeah.
They have audio tapes it's an audio tour guide.
Wait, audio tapes, like cassette tapes?
So we were in the gift shop, and
Yeah.
they said you can rent a CD for I think it was like $5. You can rent the CD for the day
Oh.
and go in. And I pointed at that and I said, Bella, my girlfriend, I was like, I just realized my car doesn't have a CD player. I was like, that's
That's
the
right.
first time I
That's right,
realized, and I was
exactly,
kind of
yeah.
a little sad. I was like,
Wow.
I don't have a CD player. The lady at the register heard me,
Yeah.
and she goes, we have flash drives now.
Wow.
So we got the flash drive,
Wow.
and
okay.
we did the driving tour,
Yeah. All
which
right.
is like pause and then drive to whatever, and then resume the tape, which is super. I wish I recorded
fun.
this. It would be like Arches National Park was, it was like a balancing rock is said to tumble in the next 100 years or whatever. So we took a picture, whatever. And they're like, pause this tape and resume when you're at the next spot. And then it played these bird noises, and it was like, cuckoo, cuckoo, and like every single time.
Oh my gosh. That was very loud.
I just blew out my voice doing that.
Caw-caw.
Every single time we would try to pause it before these freaking birds
Yeah.
came on, and it was at like volume 1000. And like we were like trying to turn it down, like jeez.
Wow.
So it'd be like, it'd just be like, this is Arch, and then just this loud crashing
Yeah.
of birds. But I highly recommend doing that. Anyway, Utah.
You know what national park wasn't included?
What?
Was whatever this town is in the
Yeah.
car. Yeah. So the car takes place in this Utah city,
Yeah.
a small town.
Towns, very small
very
town.
small town.
So
but
small
very,
that
very
there
cool.
seems to be no pedestrians on the streets ever.
No, there's
Did you
no-
notice that?
Yes. There's no pedestrians. Also, they actually had a lot of cops for such a small.
I was just
town.
about to say there was
It's like
15
I was
cops.
gonna say 15 cops. Yeah, probably.
For like you never saw any other pedestrian. I think it was just a city of cops.
I think it was.
I think it was just everyone
cops
was a
and
cop,
a school.
and the cops would
Cops
arrest the
and a
people
school.
that are off duty.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then there was a school
And a
full
school.
of children.
No
But
parents
all
anywhere.
the shots
but
of the downtown area, there's no one
yeah.
outside.
No.
Maybe that's because they told them to go inside because of the killer car, but which would have been smart. But
I guess.
whatever.
Maybe. Whatever.
Something I did want to mention, kind of changing gears here. Shout out to cars and manual
And
transmissions.
gears, yeah.
Director Elliot Silverstein,
Mm-hmm.
born in 1927, still kicking.
Wow.
God bless.
Yeah, absolutely.
He also, I wanted to get this out there. He directed 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Oh, cool. Very
Spur
cool.
of the Moment, The Trade-ins, The Passerby, and The Obsolete Man. He all directed, which is really cool because I
Yeah,
use
that's cool.
obviously Rod Serling in the
Yeah,
intro
yeah.
song. I've become
He's
obsessed with Rod
Yeah,
Serling
he's
in the last
awesome.
couple weeks.
Awesome.
And then I also want to mention that James Brolin,
Yes.
star of the film, his son is Josh Brolin,
Yes.
who played Thanos.
Yes.
He's in No Country for Old Men.
Yep.
Tons of other films.
Yeah.
Phenomenal actor.
Goonies.
Yes,
Right.
and I would say larger than his father was.
Yeah.
In terms
But
of film
James
career.
Brolin, in his day, James Brolin, or James,
James Brolin, yeah.
huge actor.
Yeah.
Very, very, almost as big as Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, Ronnie Cox
Ronnie
was
Cox,
also
a
in the
shout
movie.
out, yeah.
Who was in RoboCop.
Yep.
He was in what else was it?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills
He plays
Cop.
the sergeant, or the sergeant, I think it was,
Okay.
or lieutenant.
He's in everything
lieutenant.
with a cop.
He is?
He is in Paw Patrol.
Yes, he really. So he was in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Right. So he's in RoboCop.
Yes.
In this movie as a cop.
Yeah.
And then what other? What you
Let
said
me
was
pull
another
it up.
one.
Do I still have his IMDb open? No, of course I don't.
I don't know, but so
Oh,
that's at
he's
least
in Deliverance.
Deliverance. He's not a cop in Deliverance, but he was in Deliverance. That's right. So
He's just in a cop uniform for no reason in Deliverance. Oh, and Total Recall.
Total Recall as a head something. I don't know. Probably
Let's see here.
Recall.
Oh, he's in Taps. Interesting.
was he?
Oh, and
Uh-oh.
he's in The Car Road to Revenge.
No.
So he's in.
reprising role.
He's reprising his role in
Yeah.
2019.
wow.
He's in The Car,
Yep.
Beyond Reach,
Yep.
Scissors, Age of
Yep.
Dinosaurs,
yeah.
the 1990 adaptation of Captain America,
Oh well, there's
The Onion Field.
okay. Mhm,
I mean, a bunch of sort of
Yeah.
B movies
Whatever,
now,
yeah.
but RoboCop, Beverly Hills Cop,
Yeah,
Deliverance,
yeah.
and The Car
Yeah.
were his.
So
kinda top ones.
mostly cop movies. You're right. He was mostly a cop and all these things. Yeah, I mean it's so fun to watch him in this movie. And to see it, but James Brolin, and you have this guy, and I don't know who the actress is who played the
I believe it's Kathleen Lloyd.
okay, probably yeah.
But I
Great
do want to
character.
say,
Yeah.
if the car would have just killed the main character, we wouldn't have Thanos.
Oh, that's right.
Then the whole this is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the car
Wow.
is
How did you
yeah,
derive
the
that?
car is actually in the
yeah,
MCU.
yeah.
He is the
Okay.
first
Wow.
Avenger. And it would have killed Thanos'
Wow,
dad.
I guess-
so
I don't know.
We
I
would have
think-
saved us.
I
a lot
think
of
the
time.
car would have been on Thanos' side though.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's true.
this is what Thanos drives.
You know what's funny is in the comics, Thanos had a Thanos copter, a little helicopter that
No.
looked like him. Maybe this is
No.
the Thanos car.
Did it have
Maybe
like
the
the
car-
chin with the
Yeah, it
wrinkles in
did.
the chin? Did?
Yeah. Oh
my
yeah.
gosh.
And
that's really dumb.
maybe if like the license plate was like too many people or something, or like HLF POP, like half population or something.
Or something like overcrowded. Like that was
Yeah.
a bumper sticker.
That
on
was
it.
like an
A
overcrowd.
bumper
Yeah,
sticker.
that'd be great.
What's the problem with this world? Every people,
Yeah.
half the people.
Maybe this? I
Yeah, I
think
don't
the
know.
car is actually a part of the MCU.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it now.
How about?
Rest in peace, Stan Lee. He can't confirm
I
or
thi-
deny.
I
But
think well, and I think maybe the bumper sticker would have said, "I break for half the people."
oh,
See, wouldn't that be good? I break for
that's a
half
good
the
one.
people. Yeah,
That's
so,
a good one.
all right.
So, would you like to move on to a little bit of trivia?
Absolutely.
So this is brought to you by, but in no way sponsored by, IMDb.
Mallow cups. No.
Not Mallow Cups. If we could get Mallow Cups on as a sponsor, my
that'd be
God.
great. Or
No,
chunky.
we've been doing 27 episodes, still no sponsors.
Yeah, well, we're
That's
working
okay.
on it.
We're
No,
not actually
we're
working
not
on it.
actually
We're not-
working.
We're actively doing nothing about it, but we are actively complaining about it.
Yeah,
so,
we are.
We'll complain louder than our emails. So
Right.
this is from IMDb.
All right.
The car
Yep.
cost $84,000 to build.
No.
Yeah. Well, because think about it. This is 77. These cars were only
Okay.
6 years old.
All right.
The cars that they used, so they were pretty expensive.
Are you
Plus,
talking about all four of them?
it just says the car cost $84,000.
Okay,
to
I
build.
could see all of the cars together costing $84,000.
Well, this is also George Barris,
okay.
where he was probably like, "Pay me $84,000 and also like I don't know, a gallon of PCP or something."
and I'll
The man
sign,
seems
I'll
crazy.
sign all the cars in the movie.
Yeah.
Even ones.
If you zoom in, all the cop cars have George Barris signatures on the hoods.
It is true. Go to Volo. You
Go
will
to the
see his
Volo Auto
signature
Museum.
everywhere.
I promise
That
you.
is true. And,
Cars
yeah.
he had nothing to do with. He just signed. It's hilarious. According to director Elliot Silverstein, the distinctive sound of the horn that the car makes spells out the letter X in Morse code.
What?
According to the director.
What is Morse code for X? I don't know.
Well, it's like the like in Morse code it says X,
Oh.
which is kind of cool if that
Okay,
was on
all right, so that's-
purpose.
Right.
But,
I'm
or
sure.
if he was just like in the lab, like while editing, like, hey, this looks weird. But that'd be cool if that was on
Yeah,
purpose. If that's
it's
like
cool.
the sound of the horn makes the
Yeah.
letter X.
Okay.
There were 4 cars built for the movie. 1 was used for close-ups, while 3 were used for stunt work. 2 of the cars were destroyed in the course of making the movie. One
Okay.
of the cars is kept in a private collection.
okay.
Allegedly overseas, someone bought it, which I feel like always happens with American movies. Some billionaire,
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
was
somewhere.
it the Salt of the Brunei or whatever?
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
whatever.
in Dubai somewhere. That's what we know. It's
Probably.
in Dubai. So, and it has George Barris' signature on it.
Yeah, probably.
I bet
Like
it's
size 18 font all over it. The model of the car was a 1971 Lincoln Continental Mark III black coupe. In order to give the car a sinister look, as requested by the director, car customizer George Barris made the car's roof 3 inches lower than usual and altered the side fenders to be the same length, both higher and longer. Although his website said the roof was lowered 4 inches.
Okay.
So take that as you will.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who to believe.
I'm not going to
here.
go measure it. It's just-
I mean, definitely not. Although it can't be hard to make.
no.
It looks rather simple.
It got
but
chopped, and it's a very simple design. It just looks like a chopped top, and they added some puffy fenders.
yeah.
And, but it's cool looking.
It
It's
said
cool
the
looking.
car weighed over 5,500 pounds.
I believe that.
I believe
I
that
believe
because
that.
they
It
use
looks
18
like it, yeah.
gauge steel.
Yeah, which is crazy. But yeah.
Which this is just another thing about it. This is interesting that wasn't mentioned on the Barris website, was the car's windows were laminated in 2 different shades. They were smoked on the inside and amber on the outside, so no one could see in. So one could see out of it but not into it. So
Okay.
the stunt drivers actually
could see
had
it.
a little bit of leeway to work with.
Yep.
Unlike what was the movie where the stunt drivers actually? Oh, it was Christine. I think.
Christine, where there was like
It-
actually black.
It was dark tinted windows, and they were driving at night, and the stunt drivers are like, "What? I can't even." See, they have to have like night vision goggles on, like
This
military
sticker is
grade.
dangerous and uncomfortable, but I
Oh.
sure do love my fig Newtons.
I sure do love fig Newtons.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. The release date was on Friday the 13th, May 1977.
Oh, yeah.
This is more about George Barris. Again, something else mentioned here. I'm just going to read this whole thing.
Okay.
There were 3 cars. This one says that there were 3 cars built for filming.
Okay.
Whatever.
Someone's lying
So, yeah.
somewhere.
Barris Customs Company in North Hollywood, California. All were built of steel, and there were no fiberglass replicas ever made. So they were all steel.
Wow.
All of them.
Wow.
2 were destroyed during filming. 1 in the house crash scene, and the other in the barrel roll over the
okay,
cop
I
cars. We
totally
saw
get
that
that.
one.
Yeah. Wait a minute. what about the going off the cliff?
Oh, I assume that had to be
Yeah,
the
but
third.
Okay, so that's a third. that
Or
would've been
wait,
dis-
well, wait,
no. he
no,
said 2
no. We have something else here. Hold on, just hold your thought. Jeez. The gloss black main car was auctioned off in 1983 and assumed to be shipped over to a European collector. All were built on 1969 to 1971 Continental Mark IIIs. The stunt car, driven by Evett Creech, had a locked 411 differential to allow it to spin. So basically, they welded the rear end.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is what
yeah.
people do for drifting. They lock
Right.
the rear
Oh,
ends.
okay. All right.
A 460 cubic inch V8, heavy duty suspension, roll bar, safety harness, and amber tinted glass. The top is lowered and the belt line raised. 12 craftsmen, led by Dennis Braid, built the main car in 6 weeks. It's kind of impressive. That's a quick turnaround.
That is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Here it is. There was a 4th steel car built, which was loosely put together over a late 70s Ford Thunderbird. This car was shot out of a car cannon for the final over the canyon scene.
Okay. All right.
So it was actually the car we saw going over was actually a 70s Thunderbird
Wow.
with
Okay.
the dress up of the rest of the cars.
Well, so what I noticed about the car being shot over the cannon,
Yeah.
or the canyon,
Canyon. Yeah, it's cannon and canyon.
shot
is
out of a cannon over the canyon,
into the canyon.
into the canyon. So here's the
out of
thing.
the cannon into the canyon. Out of the cannon and into the
Say
canyon.
that fast, like
Yeah, I know
50
it's hard.
times.
It's hard.
So it's shot out of a cannon over the canyon.
Yes.
Okay. But what I noticed was it fell evenly. So it was very much weight distributed perfectly. Like
Yeah.
it didn't fall nose first. It didn't,
Yeah.
it tail first. It was like literally like fell perfectly flat and parallel or whatever. So it's like interesting the way it fell. I thought, okay, it's either, was put together to be perfectly balanced so that it would
Yeah.
fall nicely, or it was a model.
I
So-
do. I kind of want to go back and watch now the fact that, well, the late 70s Thunderbird
Yeah.
was the same chassis as the Continental.
Oh, it was?
Yes, they look very, very similar.
Oh, you know what?
Very
Yeah, you're right.
similar.
Now that I think back, you're
So
right.
now it's actually probably not that noticeable now that I think about it. It would have
Yeah.
been funny if they were like, put it on a Pinto. Like,
Completely different
yeah,
car.
it's just
VW
like this
Beetle. VW Bug.
short, like shortened. It's a really funny thing that happens is
Yeah.
there's this car called the Suzuki Jimny that isn't sold
Yep.
here in the U.S., but it's
Okay.
sold down in Mexico and all over the world, pretty much everywhere but here.
Okay.
And it's like a mini Jeep.
Oh.
It's made by
Okay.
Suzuki. You could buy one today.
Mhm. For like $12.
Yeah, I think they start at like 15 grand, and they're like
Okay.
apparently an amazing off-roader.
Oh, good.
I mean, like
okay, yeah.
purpose built, like
Yeah.
nothing inside, crank windows here in
Nice.
2021.
Nice.
But a lot of
Gotta love
companies
crank
have made dress-up kits for it, and
Really?
they made a G-Wagon dress-up
Really?
kit. So basically, it switches out all the body panels, and it looks like a baby G-Wagon, which is hilarious because you see
Wow.
pictures of it on the
Yeah.
like customizers' websites,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's just a G-Wagon.
Mhm.
But then someone found one out in the wild and
Yeah.
parked it next to a regular G-Wagon,
Yeah.
and it is hilarious
Really?
because you're like, oh, wait a second, yeah, it's like 2/4 the size. It's hilarious. So it would have been funny if you just saw the car. You're like, hey, wait a second, the car is now a
Wait, did you just say 2/4 of the size?
yeah.
That's a half.
I know. Shut up. I was gonna
All
go
right.
with 3/4, and then I was like, that's too
In the
generous.
middle- yeah, so you kind of in the midstream there, you switched.
It's
Okay.
like 3/64 the size.
That's very
Yeah.
specific. That would be kind of tiny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no.
that's definitely it's interesting. So yeah,
Yeah. It would have been hilarious if they
It
dressed
would
up
have
like a Chevette
yeah,
or
Chevette,
just
exactly
something.
that-
I guess a
that
Pinto
age.
to keep it forward.
Right,
But
exactly, a Pinto. It would be
Um,
hilarious that it flew over. I would love if they switched.
hey,
cars
wait a
with it.
second. The wheelbase is like 8 feet shorter. Because that was the thing,
Yeah.
is that car, because I drove a Lincoln Continental recently.
Yeah.
I loved that car. 30,000 miles on that car.
Really?
That's another image I think I might get blown up into a poster.
Really?
I
That
think
one?
when I move, I want to have my own office.
Yeah.
And I want to decorate it with car photos that I've taken.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Okay. But I have a picture that I took of the Continental, and it's down at the bumper, and it has the architecture of the rear taillights and the
yeah,
steel
it's cool.
bumper.
Yeah, that
It's
is
a really cool image.
Yeah, there are some really. I mean, I love car designs that are well thought out, but like curvy and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just kind of really. There are some really cool details in cars that are awesome, and that's why. Like there are cars that are just like meh. It's like
Yeah.
nothing to them. There's
That's
no
what I always wonder is
flair.
like,
There's nothing.
what's going to be, what are the modern classics? And it's a question that will always forever be a question.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Until these cars get 20, 30, 40, 50 years old.
Yeah.
I look at like the Toyota GT86s and Super
Mhm.
BRZs, and I
Yeah.
think those are going to go down in history as some really good cars
Yeah.
because they're kind of the last of like low displacement manual transmission coupes that
Yeah.
are rear wheel drive
Yeah.
because everything's getting electrified now.
True. That is very
I
true.
think I was in the Tesla today.
Yeah.
The Model Y,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I said in the video, this is really, it's a trendsetter for the 2020s. The 2020s, everything is moving towards one main screen, a very minimalist
Oh,
interior,
yeah.
and one main screen.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, I personally hate it. I
Mhm.
love the way it looks, but I hate the functionality that everything's in the screen.
Yeah.
Because if your screen doesn't want to turn on, congrats, you can't run anything in your car.
True. Very, very true. Yeah,
least
that is a
with-
scary thing.
With my
for
Mazda,
modern
if my
cars.
screen doesn't come on, which
Yep.
you've actually had issues
I've
with
had
your
that
screen
with
not coming on.
the CX-5.
I
but-
can still change my climate controls, which is more important, I think, than the radio.
Right.
Um,
I don't know. Some
with
days.
the Tesla, you can't even open the trunk without using the
No?
screen.
Wow.
It's everything is ran through the screen, not like most everything.
Could you plug in an iPod Mini?
Oh God, no.
Do you remember those?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little blue iPod
Yeah.
Mini.
Yeah.
Do you remember the iPod Shuffle?
Yes.
That was a little.
Absolutely.
It looked like a USB stick,
Yes.
and then they upgraded it, and it was like a hair clip. It was the little
Yes.
square. It was like
Yes.
a clip. You could clip it on
yeah,
things.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out
So
to
way back in the way.
mid 2000s technology.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's gonna go down as very characteristic of the 2020s. But I don't know what else is gonna be. There's no
Really hard to
cars
say,
that
though.
are really striking to me right now.
Right. That's what I mean, though. That's what I
think
mean.
The
It's
current Mustang looks pretty good.
Yeah.
That white one I brought home. That
Yeah,
looked
that was-
really good.
that was a good-looking car. I really like the look of it.
But it's retro of the 60s. It looks
Right.
like the 60s and
Right.
70s one, so it's not
Right.
really new.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there are cars though that are iconic because they were so different, for good or bad. So you had like the PT Cruiser, very
I was just about
different
to say
looking.
Plymouth Prowler.
Prowler, that's another
That's
one.
something I really want to drive.
The Ford Taurus, the rounded one, the one that we had, was very rounded, very different looking. I mean, that was the oval car. Everything was an oval.
Yeah,
everything.
even the air vents inside
Yes,
are oval.
Everything.
Which is
Right.
funny because people actually say that car looks like a third gen RX-7. The
Uh,
taillight,
kinda
the
maybe.
taillight shape
Yeah,
of
taillight
the
shape, maybe.
mid 90s Ford Taurus
Yeah.
is identical
Yeah.
to the taillight shape of the third generation FD RX-7.
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just that
No, I get what you mean though.
you know, there's not many cars like that. I mean,
Which they made an SHO version of
yes,
that
they did.
Taurus.
Yes, they did.
I don't
Yes,
know
they
if it
did.
came in a manual like the first gens,
Yeah.
but it had a V8.
But the
maybe it
thing
was
is,
a V6. Maybe it was a
I
highly
get
tuned
that
V6.
that they would want to do that, but again,
Yeah.
it wasn't really like why.
Yeah.
It was like that car wasn't. The car was like what we bought it for. We were two young parents with young kids.
Yeah.
That's the person who buys that car.
I wish I could have driven that. I wish I really want to find one of those to drive.
Well, we could take a time machine back in time so you could drive.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I
That's the only reason you would travel through time
yeah,
is
is
to drive.
a 95 Ford Taurus with stripes down the side. No,
Right.
I think that's one of our only
We did have
cars that we
pinstripes.
had
Yeah.
during my lifetime that I wasn't able to drive because we've kept the Pacifica since
Yes.
2004.
Yes.
So I
But-
grew up with the Pacifica and I drove that. I grew up with the truck and I drove that, put it into a pole, jumped it, did
Whatever.
everything.
So, but you didn't drive Mom's Camaro. Mom's Camaro.
I wasn't
had
alive when Mom had the Camaro
Really?
because she got the Taurus to fit the second baby seat in.
What about the Cadillac? The
Oh, the Eldorado.
Eldorado. You stood on that car.
I wish
have
I could have
pictures
driven
of
the
you,
Eldorado.
like,
You know what? And I am
pictures of you
still trying to
standing on the
find
car.
an SLS.
Are you?
An
Oh, yeah, that's
SLS or
right,
an
SLS.
STS that Grandma
Yep.
and Grandpa had.
STS. That's right.
Um,
Grandpa
I've-
loves his.
I've come
Cadillacs.
close.
Yeah.
I've kind of danced around the SLS
Yeah.
because I've driven a DeVille of the same year,
Mhm.
and I've driven older Sevilles, which is what the SLS gets its name
Yeah.
from.
Not a
so-
lot of those cars in the movie. The car.
No, no.
So,
As we get on our
coming
tangent
back to
again.
So okay, so we're near the end here.
So would you watch it again?
Would I watch it again? You know what? The only reason why, honestly, that I wouldn't watch it again, I'm kind of disappointed, but that they killed that one character. I really
Yeah.
feel bad about that. It's like,
Yeah.
that wasn't very good. That wasn't a very satisfying thing. That wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So would I watch it again? Probably not from beginning to end. I might watch some scenes, a couple things of it, but it wouldn't.
I would
watch it.
want you to rewatch the garage scene where it pans over the car.
Yeah, I would. I would go back. In fact, I might do that. Go back
Yeah.
and watch that because I think I looked away from the screen.
Okay.
I think I did. I think I looked away from the screen.
It is.
In my
It's literally
defense-
tucked in the back corner.
Okay.
The headlights are off,
Okay.
so it's just sitting there. And I was like, oh, that was a really cool. I wish. I love it when movies do that. I wish that this movie did that more, and maybe it did do it more, and I didn't
I
notice.
don't know. Maybe.
But when it's like, oh, hey, go back and look,
Mhm.
and like it's seen driving in the background of this shot,
Yeah.
and you don't know
Right.
it.
Right.
What? There was a movie that did that.
That is
It
a
was
very,
like
very cool thing.
like you could see the like ghost of someone in like all these different shots.
Yes.
We don't really notice it.
Right.
I think it's. I want to say it's Fight Club.
Yeah.
There's a Starbucks cup in
Yeah.
every scene of the movie.
Is there?
Yeah, or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe it's not Fight Club.
Well, there are filmmakers that like always put a cat in a scene in a movie. Or
Right,
they
yeah.
put something like
visual Easter eggs
Yeah,
to make you go
exactly.
back and look at it. But I love the fact of like, oh, it's been in plain sight.
Yeah.
This is really gruesome, but
Mhm.
there is a commercial out there
Uh-oh.
that is, it's just showing. It's a little love story
Okay.
of like, oh, this girl writes this kid a note,
Yeah.
and then he doesn't like her, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like going back and forth and
Mhm.
all this stuff. And at the end of the commercial,
Mhm.
a kid, it's in a school. A kid walks in with a gun and starts a school shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's this love story this whole time that has nothing to do with it.
It's a commercial?
It's a commercial. I've seen it on YouTube and everything. And so when you go back in the background of all the shots, there's a kid in the library and he's researching what guns are effective. And when the kid passes the note, there's like a scene of like this kid who's like super depressed. And it's
Yeah.
like the signs are right in front of you. You just have to know what to look for. Really well done
Wow.
filmmaking. It's
Okay.
a really
Well,
depressing premise.
really horrible.
But you go back and watch it shows you scenes from that, like, it shows you scenes from
It's
the
a commercial?
Yes.
How long is this commercial? Like 4
18
hours?
minutes. It's a
It's a long commercial.
no, look it
Wow.
up. And
All right, I'm gonna have to look
it
that up now.
shows
All right.
it literally does where the screen gets dark and then like the circle over like it
No.
it's not as bad as what you're thinking, but it's
Okay.
pretty
Well,
close.
I'm going to have to
but
look
it's like
that
the
up
kid
now.
in the background, like a teacher walks by
Yeah.
and a kid does like a little finger gun at her.
Okay.
And it's like it's notice the signs before it's
Yeah.
too late. So
Yeah.
I thought that commercial. I mean, I saw that commercial, God, 4 or 5 years ago, and I still remember it.
Yeah.
So I just love that sort of filmmaking where it's like
Yeah.
in plain sight, but you don't even notice.
That's the thing is that for me, that ability to put things into a film where, again, whether you want to call them Easter eggs or whatever you want to call them, special hidden features, whatever, that when you go back the next time you see them, those are fun for
Yeah.
me because it gives you a reason to go back and look at it. And the other thing is a movie, a good movie should be entertaining enough that you do want to see it again.
Right.
And it has to be, or it should give you enough, there should be enough, I don't know, content in it that you can catch things, the second time. I love when you, like, there's a surprise ending and the character turns out to be the bad guy, but then
Yeah.
if you go back and watch it again, it's
Knowing
that it's a very different feeling when you watch that character
Right.
and you're like,
gives
oh,
you a
yeah, that's right.
different-
Okay, so it gives you a different, which
Yeah.
is fun because that's the next time you go through it and you're like, oh yeah,
Right.
now I see, or that's why he did this or that, or that's why. I mean, I love that when movies do that
Yeah.
because it's much more complicated, it's much more involved, and it's much more fun and just
Right.
enjoyable. Movies should be entertaining.
Yeah.
That's what a movie's for. Yes, there are educational movies. Yes, there's, there are different things like documentaries and blah, blah, blah. There's different reasons. But when you talk about a theatrical narrative film, that should be entertaining. There
Yeah.
should be reasons behind it. So whatever.
I don't think I'd watch it again.
No.
Probably not anytime soon.
Or ever.
Well,
You know.
I do want to go back. I think literally when we end this podcast, we should go back and watch just that quick scene.
Yeah,
real quick,
that's-
and
we're
I'll
definitely
show
gonna
you
do that, yeah.
that gun control ad too.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think anything really particularly compelled me about the film.
So if it was on, would you keep watching it? I mean, not that you would sit down and watch it.
I wouldn't actively change the channel. I don't think I'd sit down either. I think it'd just kind of passively be on.
I think if I was eating mallow cups, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have the energy to get
Yeah.
up and change the
Honestly,
channel.
if it was any point after where the car rolls,
Yeah.
if
Probably
there's
not.
any part after the garage scene,
Yeah, probably.
I could do without seeing the end of that movie again.
Yeah.
because it's 30 minutes of guys trying to lay down dynamite and not having enough twine. All right,
That is
so
true.
like,
that is true. It goes on and on
Yeah.
and on, and it's like, come on, and it's
and
like
it was
the-
obviously shot at 3
Yeah.
p.m. and
Yes.
they just darkened
Yes.
it. It's day to
you-
night.
you can see like shadows from the sun
Yeah,
at night,
yeah.
and then there's and they're running around like a wily coyote trap. They're on the
Yeah.
meep, meep, they're on the up going through the mountains, and it's
Yeah.
like meep, meep, oh, there's the coyote.
So I think I could go without it.
Yeah.
I'd
I
like to
understand
see
that.
the house scene again. I'd
Yeah.
like to see the garage scene again.
Yeah, garage scene was pretty cool. That was pretty neat the way they did that. I like that.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I would have the energy to change the
Yeah.
channel, but I think I definitely wouldn't like sit down and watch it. If it was on, I probably would keep it on. It's whatever
Yeah.
and play it in the background. But it was an enjoyable enough movie. Movie that I wouldn't watch again is Blood Car.
Oh,
just
yeah,
not,
no way.
Just no way. There's a couple movies
I would
that I'd watch.
actively change the channel if
Yeah, I
Blood Car
would too.
was on.
I would too. Just because yeah. But anyway.
So that's it.
All right,
So,
so-
happy Halloween.
Yes.
Celebrate it tomorrow.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it safely. Have
enjoy
fun.
your
Enjoy candy and all
candy.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
What's our next one?
So
What? Is
I
it
have
my
our next
choice or
one.
your choice?
it's my choice.
Okay, your choice. Good.
Uh,
well, you didn't tell me that.
are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes,
I did.
I'm
I
ready.
texted it to you.
No, you-
I'm pretty sure.
What? No, I don't
Did
have my
not text
phone.
you?
No.
Oh, do you not have your phone?
I do not have my phone. It's
Let me
upstairs
see here.
charging.
Let me see. Let me confirm.
I'm
Yep.
sorry. It's in
At
it's back
5:18. Me to you. Next movie is my pick.
with the back in the Midwest is my phone. I don't have it here in Utah.
Thanks for not bringing it out here on the jet. That's
Right.
fine. Cars 2.
Cars 2. You're gonna make me watch
Cars 2.
2.
So here's the thing. We loved Cars so much. Cars 2 is actively the
Yep.
lowest.
Yeah.
Although there is a fun twist.
Is there?
I think there's a fun
Don't tell me
twist.
because I haven't seen it, but I've only
Right.
seen bits and pieces, and I hated what I saw.
There is a fun twist.
Okay. All right.
Um,
So if you really want to hear my true feelings,
yeah.
tune
I don't
in
think
next
you're going
time.
to like this. However,
All right.
and not to torture you, it is on Disney Plus.
Oh, well, that's good.
I
though.
heard that the third one is better. So
Yes.
it kind of does not as good as the first,
Okay.
but definitely still a good standalone movie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my reasoning behind this. Is
Okay. You want to do 3 then eventually?
Eventually
Okay,
we
do that.
will do 3, so we have to do 2.
Well,
We
we're
kind
heading
of have to drag through
Yeah.
the mud to get to the other side.
because we're now heading into November, right?
Right.
So that's a good kind of a thing to do around Thanksgiving. Is some of the Cars family type movies, more
Yeah.
of that stuff. We do have a special coming up in November.
Yes,
Thanksgiving
we do
special.
have a Thanksgiving special,
Yes.
which will actually come out on the morning of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So if you hate your family already, you can sit alone in your car in your little
Yeah,
Kia Forte
Exactly. And listen
crank
to
this on the
crappy
radio.
podcast.
Or if you're leaving your pets home alone
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving, going
Yeah.
to grandma's house.
Your pets will enjoy this
Yeah,
one.
leave this on for them.
Yeah.
They'll think that 2 idiots have occupied their home.
Right.
Which is
Exactly.
always good.
They will not be wrong.
And
Yep.
yeah, that's true. And yeah, so we will
the
have a
next one
Thanksgiving
is-
morning special.
yeah.
Not really. It's not talking about any specific movie, so you
I
don't
don't
have
think
to prep
so. No.
for it.
No special guest though.
Special guest.
Yeah.
So we'll save
second
that for.
Second are our special guest.
Yes, second special
So-
guest. So super fun.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for
Yep,
listening.
thank you.
And we'll catch you next episode with Cars 2.
All right. Bye bye. What's the deal with Cars